And we're live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smokes, and you are listening to The Smoke Show. Bobby, you're back. It's good to have my co-host back in the building. We got a fired up Friday. I mean, we're going to try to get people's blood pressure through the fucking roof today.
Let's go.
Damn it. I dropped the F word, bro. I dropped another F-bomb. So
You're going to try and keep it clean?
I'm going to try not to say the F word as much. My mom, my dad, and my girlfriend were all like, dude, you say the F word way too much. You got to stop it. I was like, I don't even say it that much. And my girl was like, yes, you do. So I said, I'll bet you $40 that I didn't say the F word more than 20 times. In the first 11 minutes of the last show I did, I said the F word 24 times in 11 minutes. And by the end of the show, a 45-minute show, I said the F word 96 times. 96 times. I'm saying it almost like twice a minute. So I'm going to try to cut down.
So moral of the story,
but it's fired up.
Moral of the story is you can't win a bet to the bookies, and you can't win a bet to your girlfriend either, huh?
I know. I'm on a cold streak, and I was so hot. I was literally on fire. I was on fire. I didn't pay the bookie for 10
weeks.
You
were NBA smoke.
I can't hit one.
You were NBA smoke.
No, I was NBA. All right, fired up Friday. Let's get the people's blood pressure going through the roof. Which was the biggest mistake? The Dolphins going with Dante Culpepper over Drew Brees, or the Dolphins going with Tua over Herbert? I'll start with you, Bobby.
All right, man. I mean, it's tough to say for the fact that they're so young into their careers, Tua and Herbert. But at this point in time, I think it would be insane not to say taking Brees over or taking Culpepper over Brees. I mean, look what Drew Brees went on to do. It was the 2006 season. We were going to bring in Drew Brees. He was in the building. He wanted to sign with the Miami Dolphins. Our coach at the time, Nick Saban, ever heard of him? Just the greatest college football coach of all time. He wanted Brees more than anybody in the world. And yet our doctor decides that his shoulder's not good enough. We can't sign him. We fail the physical, and that makes the Dolphins say no. And I was watching some clips. I know Smoke was as well because I saw him making some TikToks and whatnot. But, I mean, Saban, after the fact, is still pissed about it. He's like, I wanted this guy on my team. He wanted a surgery, and he was good to go. And yet our team doctor couldn't figure it out. I read the quote exactly from Saban. He said, the doctor didn't know his own ass from a handful of sand. So that tells you what he thought about the doctor there. From that point, I mean, the Dolphins, by my count, have had 16 starting quarterbacks since that day. Culper, Herring, Cleo Lemon, Trent Green, John Beck, Chad Pennington, Henne, Thigpen, Moore, Tannehill, Cutler, Osweiler, Fitzpatrick, Rosen, Tua, Brissett. And we all could have solved that by just signing Drew Brees, the guy that went on to 9 more Pro Bowls. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He won a Super Bowl in New Orleans. He doesn't have to pay for anything, do anything, say anything. They will carry him on their shoulders because of what he did for that city. And it all could have been ours. But nope, we went with Dante Culpepper, who played like 4 games. I sent the picture to Smoke earlier. I had the all-orange Culpepper jersey back in the day. I was feeling myself. Well, no, it was the worst mistake in Dolphins history, and that's what I Smoke.
Hey, look, the obvious answer is taking Culpepper over Brees. That's not even close. I just want to show a quick graphic, though, because I'm going to go on a full rant. But look, Dolphin fans, myself included, again, this is not any hate on Tua, but just look. This is Justin Herbert's first 2 years, and this is Tua. If we were Charger fans, like if the Dolphins took Herbert, we would be trashing Tua. Like, let's just call it what it is. Now, Tua is done more for the Dolphins than Dante Culpepper ever has. Dante Culpepper went 1-3 and threw 2 touchdowns. Drew Brees went on to play for the Saints for 15 years, threw 491 touchdowns, over 68,000 yards. Check out this graphic. Look at this. 9 playoff wins. We have 0.
Oh, my gosh.
491 touchdowns. Beating 101.5. Brees missed 12 games in 15 seasons. Culpepper started 4 games in his Dolphins career. That was the biggest letdown of all time. That was the biggest mistake in Dolphins history. It's to the point where I we might be cursed. There's no logic for this to happen. This is ridiculous. And check out this clip from Nick Saban. Let me know if you could hear it, Bobby. Give me
Different
saying we got
would your NFL coaching career have been, Coach, if you were able to sign Drew Brees to the Miami Dolphins?
We had him. Then our doctors in Miami didn't see it that way, but we had the deal done. So it probably would have changed, my career, because when that happened, I was like, control my destiny because of somebody else's decision as a coach. Because in the NFL, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance.
I think Smoke's trying to get stuff figured out on his end. We read some of the comments saying the lags were bad, so we're trying to figure that out in the meantime. Let me know if I sound all right. Saban literally says that we had him signed. We had him in the building. You can obviously tell he's extremely frustrated. Smoke, welcome back. I'm just keeping things running. The video just finished up. But you could just tell, man, Saban was not happy. He was like livid. And then he goes on to Alabama to be the greatest quarterback or the greatest coach of all time. Smoke, welcome back. How's the mic going? How's
it going? Good. I mean, I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi. Dude, I just wish I had a setup where we weren't lagging and having these technical difficulties. Chat, let us know if it sounds better or not. But what were we talking about? Dante Culpepper and Drew Brees?
You just played the same video.
Does that not make you want to drink bleach? I mean, I'm disgusted hearing that. Nick Saban, who, by the way, is the greatest college football coach of all time, was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, saying, we had him signed. We literally had Drew Brees signed to the Miami Dolphins. We would have solved all of our quarterback problems. We would have had Nick Saban and Drew Brees versus Tom Brady and Bill Belichick for 20 years. We would have had that, and the Dolphins would have won the AFC East a couple times. We might have won a couple Super Bowls. We might have had our own little dynasty. It is unbelievable. It's to the point where I just think we're cursed. I just don't think we're going to figure it out until we do. I don't know if that's this year. I pray to God it's this year. I think this is the year that it's going to happen. But it's just like every single time, dude, we're still lagging. It's just like every single time that it's supposed to work.
It never does, bro. And Saban obviously knew something was up. I mean, the dude just straight quit. How many times do you hear of a coach resigning or quitting a team without even getting fired? Like, he knew what the deal was. He's like, these fucking idiots in Miami don't know how to run an organization. I'm going to be out, go to college, and become the GOAT. Y'all have this. But obviously something's not going right, man. All the what ifs. I mean, after that in 2008, we get the first pick. We draft Jake Long, who, don't get me wrong, Jake Long was solid. But Matt Ryan is in that draft. Matt Ryan's going to end up being a Hall of Famer in his career. So there's another what if. You could go down the rabbit hole literally forever if you wanted to and just find and nitpick all the things the Dolphins did wrong. But I'm hoping we're finally turning that corner, man. And it just starts with two T. Please.
Damn, dude, we're still lagging. And I can't even sit here and enjoy our conversation because we're lagging and it's pissing me off. And I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I pulled it up on my phone, YouTube, and it seemed like it was all right on my end, but I don't know. I think we might have to just power through. Or do you want to?
Yeah, yeah, that's what we're going to end up having to do. I'm just going to text my girl to get off Wi-Fi. Sorry, guys. Sorry, chat. Sorry, everyone tuning in. We're just going to have to power through it at this point. If it's lagging, I'm sorry. Just, I don't know what to tell you. Just please stick around. All right, so obviously the Dolphins, at this point, we can't go back. We can't turn the clocks around. There's no point of living in what if world. No, I like to. In the offseason, it's like, damn, bro. What if we just had Nick Saban and Drew Brees for 15 years? Like, what if that happened? Would our lives be this miserable? Absolutely not. We would be the kings of the world. We would definitely have at least one playoff win in the last 22 years. Things would 100,000% be different. You might convince me otherwise. But like you said, this year, the success, it all starts with Tua T. And me and you were obviously diehard Dolphin fans. Everyone that watches the show is a Dolphins fan. We all felt the pressure with Tua going into this year. Tua feels it. The organization feels it. The fan base feels it. Do you think that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and all his teammates coming out saying Tua looks so good, blah, 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 do you think it's adding extra pressure? I personally don't. I think the pressure was already there. I think it might add a little more pressure externally from the Miami Dolphins, but internally, I think the pressure is going to remain the same regardless.
Yeah, so I don't think Tua himself is feeling more pressure. Like, I don't think when Tyreek brings him on the pod or Tyreek tweets something out or Waddle says something, like, I don't think Tua himself goes, oh, man, these guys, I have to live up to these guys' expectations. I think Tua, That's a boost. That's a good thing. That's like, okay, these guys have seen it. They know what I'm about. Like, when you're the quarterback of a team, you want a guy with some confidence, maybe even a little borderline cockiness, a little swagger, feeling himself, able to know that I'm going to get under center and sling this thing, and I'm going to be the reason we win football games. So my teammates hyping me up, that's a good thing. But where it does bring the pressure is to the fans like us, because I think that when we read a tweet like from Tyreek Hill or from Jalen Waddle, all of a sudden our expectations for Tua goes up. So we're expecting more out of him. But for himself, like, no, there's no change. If anything, it's a boost. I just think we're going to hold him at a higher standard now and be like, well, Waddle said he was balling, man. What's going on? Why is it not happening if it doesn't come true?
Right.
But I think it's a good thing. I think it's a net positive in and I want my teammates talking positively about my quarterback. I mean, I feel like that should be a given. But with the issues we just talked about with the Dolphins at quarterback, it's just not. So
I kind of look at it as icing on a cake, if you would. I don't know if that's going to be like the proper analogy, but basically, if Tua went out there and balled and there was none of this podcast or any of the clips of his teammates going out there and supporting him, he would still get dragged by the national media. He would still get dragged by the fan base. The front office would try to move off of him. But now with all this content with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and whoever it may be, people are going to be like, oh, you remember this clip of Tyreek saying he prefers Tua's accuracy over Mahomes? Do you guys remember Jalen Waddle saying Tua was looking mean? So it's just going to add a little insult to injury. But at the end of the day, I think the injury itself, the damage was already done regardless of the videos, the tweets, whatever it may be. I just think it might come back, to bite you in the ass a little bit more if he turns out to bad, or it might just make you look that much better if he goes out there and he balls. So I don't really think it changes the dynamic and the expectation that we had for Tua going.
No, that's facts, bro. Because if Tua is bad and doesn't improve at all or stays the same, I think, and you think, and I know a lot of Dolphins fans think it's time to cut ties. It's over with. And if that happens, it's going to look really bad. Like, it's going to blow up in our face. We're going to get memed to death. Every TikTok is going to be someone laughing at Tyreek Hill for saying he prefers Tua over Mahomes. So I know what you mean 100%. Like, if it does blow up, it's going to blow up bad. It's going to be ugly. But let's just hope it doesn't blow up. I guess that's all we have at this point is hope, right?
I'm with you. At this point, what's it matter? We haven't won a playoff game in 22 years. What are you going to say to me? How are you going to make fun of me that I haven't already been made fun of? How are you going to beat me up worse than I already beat myself up when it comes to the Miami Dolphins? You think I don't sit there and rage and freak out when we start 1-7? You think I don't sit there in my room and cry my eyes out when we have another season where we don't make the playoffs or where we have an opportunity to make the playoffs and we lose by 35? Like, there is nothing that you could say to me that's going to bring me down because I'm already dead inside. I'm already broken as a Dolphin fan. And the only time that you could ever knock me down is right now during the offseason when I'm just filled with so much optimism and, I just think the sky's the limit. Everything's going to work for the Miami Dolphins. So right now it would be a great time. If you want to come at me and try to bring my spirits down, go ahead. But if the Dolphins don't make the playoffs and if Tua stinks and it's happened, I'm already dead, bro. Like, I'm already dead inside. Like, I already went through all my emotions after I found out we lost and weren't going to the playoffs. So it's not going to make a difference, but I hope it all goes well. Could you imagine what that would do for our demeanor, for our fan base, for our livelihood?
Honestly.
To walk around with our chest up saying we have a good football team, our quarterback isn't as bad as everyone made him out to be. Like, that's what gets me going, is that we have that opportunity to still write our own.
It's like, how much better is the week of your life after a Dolphins win? It just takes care of so much. Puts so much into place. Like for our health, they need to help us out because Dolphins fans our age have had nothing. I mean, you posted the clip today. Last playoff win was in 2000. I was 5.
I was
Were
1 year old.
1?
I was 1 year old.
So like our whole life, we've known nothing.
Nothing.
And like you further than we're down. So the memes don't bother me. I went to the Dolphins game last year on my birthday for the first time in Hard Rock Stadium. I couldn't wait to see the Dolphins play the Bills. I left in the fourth quarter when it just started because they were up 35-0. I ripped my jersey off, threw it in the bushes, and then walked 3 miles down the road by myself where my friends stayed and enjoyed the game. Like, I've been miserable enough. So you don't need to meme me. I'm not going to feel worse. I've been there. I lived that. But when the Dolphins win, man, that week, that Monday, you wake up in the morning with a smile on your face. You take that shower. You can't wait to go to work or to wherever you're going just to be like, hey, you see the Dolphins game yesterday? And just chat it up. So, I mean, the Dolphins need to give us life, man, and I think they're going the right direction. So I'm hoping to have a cheerful fall.
I'm trying to get the clip pulled up, but while it's loading, you hit the nail on the head. Anytime the Dolphins win, I fly out of bed on Monday. I'm smiling. I'm watching the highlights at 7 a.m. I'm drinking my coffee. I got the Dolphin gear on. I wear my gear even if we lose, but it just feels so good. You know, throwing on your team set after a win, victory Monday. You're just watching the game over and over again. You're watching the press conference. You're just smiling ear to ear. I'm in the car. I'm blasting tunes. It's like I'm living my best life anytime the Dolphins win. And we were talking about it earlier. Like, we feel that good after a regular season game. Imagine what we would feel like on a playoff win, a Super Bowl win, an AFC championship game. Like, we haven't even sniffed the surface of Europa feeling for the Miami Dolphins.
I can't wait till we do it, man. There's people that grew up Patriots fans, and they get to the Super Bowl, and like, I bet they don't even feel anything. Am I jealous of those people? Sure, I am definitely jealous. I would like the titles. I'd like all that. But I just feel like once we do it, once it happens, it's going to be that much more meaningful because of like all the years. It's not easy being a Dolphins fan. And people think sports fans are stupid. They just like their team. Like, no, this is my life. This is my blood, sweat, and tears. And when it continues to go bad my entire life, it's just frustrating. So when that does happen, man, I was saying to you before the show, like everyone on the Super Bowl wakes up in the morning with a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of like, I can't wait for the game to go. I don't know which I should bet on. What are the props? What am I making for an appetizer? If the Dolphins were in the Super Bowl,
I would lose it.
Like my heart would just be beating through my chest all morning, all week. Like, I don't think I make it through that week. I don't think I'm getting any sleep. It would be a high-strung week for me, and I hope I get to fucking experience it, man.
I want the anxiety. I want the heart attack. I want the high blood pressure. Like, I want to sit there and have sweat dripping down my face. I want my leg moving 100 million miles per hour. Because we deserve it, man. This is what it looked at. This is what ESPN looked like the last time we won a playoff.
Alindo, we won't need you. Lamar straight yards, money, ball game. Lamar 40 carries, 209 yards. Wanstead celebrates his second career postseason win. Those 40 carries and 209 yards, the 40 carries an NFL playoff record. Jim Mora, another tough postseason.
We won a playoff game with Jay Fiedler throwing 3 interceptions, and ESPN still had that like the highlight music playing in the background. That's how long it's been since the Miami Dolphins won a playoff game, and that's also why there's so much smoke behind Tua, so much pressure from internally the fan base, because we passed on Drew Brees for Dante Culpepper. We took Tua over Herbert. Like, there's been multiple quarterbacks even before Tua that we've folded the bag on, and we haven't won a playoff game in 22 years. That is why everything is intensified.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I mean, 100%. Look at how old that ESPN clip is. That's when ESPN used to be ESPN. That's when you wouldn't get all your clips on Twitter all day and you couldn't just check your phone to get the score. Every night you'd go to bed and you'd turn on SportsCenter. You'd watch the whole highlights. You watch the top 10. I mean, that was like nightly routine for me, man. That brought back some flashbacks. because that was when like you had to watch ESPN.
Right.
Like you couldn't get this shit elsewhere. That's when it was the best. It wasn't just crazy talk shows.
Right.
It was sports. So that was just a little aside there, but it is crazy, man. I don't remember that game. I was 5, so I don't have any recollection in my entire life of the Dolphins winning a playoff game. It's sad.
I at least wish I could have been 5 years old. Like, I wish I could at least been 5. Like, maybe, like, my dad will tell me I was watching the game or something, but I was literally 1 years old. 0 recollection of the last Dolphins game. The last Dolphins playoff win, my bad. Oh,
it's tough stuff.
We need to get one, man. We need to fucking get one. All right, so it's obviously the off season. It's Fired Up Friday. We're just trying to make it work, people. Trust me. I wish we had a game to recap or preseason that I could sit here and spew, but we don't. So let's get a little emotional. Let's get to know each other a little bit. Chat, don't be afraid to hold back. What is the best memory you have as a Miami Dolphins fan? I'll go first. It's kind of depressing that this is my best memory as a Miami Dolphin fan. And it's the Miami Miracle. So we're playing the Patriots. I'm living in Orlando at the time. I'm living with one of my best friends. His name's Michael Mayo, diehard Dolphin fan. So me and him, 98% of our friendship is oriented around the Miami Dolphins. And he's one of the guys where he does not shut the TV off until the last second, even if we're losing by like 50 points. Me, on the other hand, like, I can't do that, bro. Like, if we're getting cremated in the fourth quarter, I can't watch it. I get so pissed off, whatever. So the Patriots score, and I'm just livid because I'm like, bro, we've been the better team than them the entire game. Like, this is bullshit. So I'm freaking out. I slam his door, whatever, and I walk up to his TV, and I shut it off. And I look back. He's like, bro, what are you doing? I'm like, what, bro? It's over. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, turn the TV back on. I said, bro, the game is over. Like, I'm not turning the TV back on. He's like, bro, put the TV back on right now. I was like, all right, whatever, bro. I turn it on. Ryan Tannehill's catching the snap, and we watch the Miami Miracle. Me and him just start going crazy, going up and down, screaming like we won a Super Bowl, bro. Like, that's how low it's been for the Miami Dolphins. Like, the Miami Miracle is like the craziest memory I have in 22 years. Now, there's obviously a time where I flew out to Pittsburgh for a playoff game. We got blown out. There's a crazy story leading into that. When we won the AFC East, I was like 9 or 10. I went to the playoff game, went to all the games that whole year, got blown out. But for the Dolphins to win, that was probably like the greatest memory that I have in my life.
We went from the lowest to lowest to the highest of highs in a second. You got to put John Ruiz comment up there real quick, just because I'm envious of him, because he got to watch Dan Marino play. He said Marino fake spike against the Jets. John Ruiz, I'm jealous, man. And you're lucky to have that memory
John.
in your head, because I don't have that recollection at all. I video, don't get me wrong, but I wish I could have lived that in the moment, because that would have been incredible. But Smoke, I mean, people our age, that's got to be, if they're not their number one, in the top 3, just because of how memorable it was. And usually the best memories come with like playoff wins or something like that, but we don't have any of those. So I like that memory. Definitely was one of the first ones that came to mind for me. But for me, mine was 2016, Dolphins at Bills in Buffalo. It was Christmas Eve. I remember I was in college that year. One of my buddies said he had tickets, wanted to go. I said, word, let's go. Fellow Dolphins fan. Shout out Ricky Barton. He works the ticket office for the Dolphins now. He's the boy. So we're down there. We get to the game, freezing cold. It's Buffalo, obviously, and just an unreal game. I mean, the score ended 34-31. It was back and forth the whole way. Jay Ajayi had 206 rushing yards. Tyrod Taylor had 330 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Just like a crazy game you're not going to expect to get from Dolphins Bills back then. But anyways, it's getting down to the fourth quarter, and it was like literally a tight game the whole entire game. The Bills scored with a minute 25 left, put them up 3. So at that point, stadium's going absolutely nuts. All the drunk Bills fans are going crazy. Me and my buddy and his dad are just sitting there kind of moping. Well, what happens? We get the kickoff return. Kenyon Drake takes it 39. Andrew Franks gets out there and bangs a 55-yarder. We're heading to fucking OT, baby. Let's fucking go. We get it to OT. Bills get the ball first. They march it right down our throats. And they go to kick a 45-yard field goal. This was back when if you kick a field goal, game's over. There's no extra possessions, whatever. He misses the Dan Carpenter missed a 45-yarder. A couple possessions go by. Jay Ajayi rips off a 57-yard run in overtime, sets up the game-winning 27-yard field goal. I remember hugging Bills fans, blowing kisses, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, because those games just mean a little extra to me because I hate the Buffalo Bills. Being there to witness that and hugging them because they're usually so cocky. And when you catch a defeated Bills fan, there's nothing better. Absolutely nothing better than catching a defeated Bills fan. Toast. It's just because like they got nothing else going for them. And this was before they were like, now they're really cocky Bills fans because they're good. They weren't even like good back then. So it was competitive. And in there, oh, bro, what a fucking memory.
Oh, my God. I couldn't imagine. That was probably the last time the Dolphins won in Buffalo.
It is.
That's bad. That's really bad. Now, you said you were really jealous of John Ruiz, as am I. I wish I got to witness Dan Marino play. But how heartbreaking do you think it was for Dolphin fans to have a quarterback like Dan Marino and not win a Super Bowl? I feel like that's almost as bad as what we're going through. Like, yes, we've gone through 23 quarterbacks, haven't have one playoff win in the last 22 years. But could you imagine having Marino like a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, and you don't win that Super Bowl? I guess I'd rather be in the playoffs. I'd rather be competing for AFC championships than, not winning any playoff games. But that has to be a different type of hurt. What do you think?
I mean, I think I much prefer that situation. I'd rather be every year our names are up there in the list of Super Bowl favorites. We're getting primetime games. Everyone doesn't want to play us because we're a great team. And then coming up short, like I know it would hurt so bad coming up short. Like that pain you felt coming up short every year would be so terrible. But it'd be so much better than the depression of knowing we're going to be terrible. We were 15 last year. Like that's like dark, dark thoughts where it just gets ugly. Where at least in that instance, you can say we were great all year and we just couldn't get it done. I think I'm much preferring that situation. I don't know. It either way kind of stinks, but I'll take at least some W's along the way.
Well, here's the thing: is Marino made it to the Super Bowl his rookie year and never made it back.
I know.
Like that's
Insane.
wild. That is literally wild. We have arguably the most talented raw talent. Obviously, he's not going to get the respect he deserves because he has no rings. But raw talent, I mean, he changed the game. If he played today, he'd have every single record known to man, and we couldn't win a championship with him.
Cursed. There's nothing else you can say besides cursed. Because just look at the Dolphins' history. Go back through all of it. Never have we caught a break. Never has it been like good for the Dolphins. Maybe the only one I can think of is Brady tearing his ACL, and woohoo, we got to win a division and then get absolutely pounded in like the first round. Like, is that the only break the Dolphins have caught? Because no other big ones come to mind.
The Patriots still went like 11-6 or 11-5 that year, and we had to beat the Jets the last game of the regular season to win the division.
Yeah, like nothing ever goes right. It's just a cursed franchise. I don't know what it takes.
We go from Brady to Allen, Culpepper, Brees. I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on, bro. It's wild.
Man. I don't know. It sucks. I hope we pull the Bengals and go to the bowl. Waddle.
Hope we pull the Bengals and go to the bowl. I was thinking about that today. And the thing that first came to my mind when I thought about that, I said, let me see what Joe Burrow did. Like, how did the Cincinnati Bengals, a team who hasn't won a playoff game in like 30 years or whatever it was, how do you just go from not winning playoff games to going to the Super Bowl? So I think Joe Burrow stat, hit enter. I go, oh, your starting quarterback has 70% completion percentage, throws for 4,611 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, with a passer rating of 108.3. You have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Oh, and by the way, your defense is just going to go up to Kansas City in the second half and shut them out, and you're going to come back on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So if the Dolphins can do that, we'll be fine. But we can't throw the ball in the cold, apparently, or if it's wet, we can't throw the ball. We got a lot of things to do, man. But, hey, it's a new year. It's a new us. This is the best roster we've ever had. I updated the roster. This team can't do it. I think this team has the talent to do it. just my my reality as a Dolphin fan is that they probably just won't.
I mean, it's the truth. When we went through this pick on here, I was like, I cannot pick the Dolphins to beat the Bills until I see it.
Right.
And that might just be pessimistic from a fan side, but it's just honesty. It's through all those like years we went through. It's like, I know what's going to happen here. I'm a Dolphins fan. I've seen this story. I've seen this story told a million times. So I'm hoping they can take us out of this little slump. Make us
it's a
have
massive
a different
slump.
Yeah.
It's a 22-year slump. It goes for like, when's the last time? Like, yeah, we beat the Colts. I want to know what happened after that.
After what?
Go ahead, Bobby, while I look it up. I want to see what the score was of the next game after we beat the Colts.
Okay. But dude, another thing I was gonna say, just because you brought it up, how Marino got to the Super Bowl his first year, never got back. This might be a hot take, but I think that's gonna be Joe Burrow's career. And I know it wasn't Joe Burrow's first year. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. 27-0. We lost to the Raiders. That was the next game. That is the most Miami Dolphins thing I've ever heard. 27-0 in the divisional round game. Rest my case. Okay,
it's just
continue.
brutal,
Sorry.
But no, I was saying,
like, we haven't had a real playoff run. When's the?
Don't even know.
I don't know.
Don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know. But that's all I need to see. 27-0. That was the score for the next game after we beat Colts. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, you're good, dude. It was a non-Dolphins take. I was just saying, you said Dan Marino obviously went to the Super Bowl his rookie year. Everyone always thought he'd be there the whole time. I think that's going to be Burrow's career, man. I know it wasn't his rookie year because he got hurt, but I got the Bengals falling off this year. And I don't know if they get back. They play in such a good division, man. It's just really good football there. It was just a hot take. Something when you were saying that, I was like, I feel like that's going to be Burrow's story, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs this year. But then again, it wouldn't surprise me if they do. But I do think they're going to fall off. Chad, if you have any questions for us, go ahead, drop them in the comments. Let us know if you guys want to talk about anything in specific. I can't speak today, man. But what are the odds? What are the odds that Tua goes out there and throws for 30-plus touchdowns this year?
It's a good question, Smoke. I would say it'd be a plus number, and it would be like a plus 300.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I'm trying to be non-biased. Like, if Vegas was to set that line, I opened up DraftKings Sportsbook and that was available to me, what would I be expecting? I don't know, plus 250, something around there. I don't think people believe in Tua outside of the Dolphins. Some of their fans and half the fan base is split and hate his guts. So I don't think Vegas will give him any respect. What do you think that line will be made?
You might be right.
Unfortunately.
You might be right.
It helps that we're going to be a run-heavy team. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I think his numbers might be a little low, because we are going to be a run-first team, despite having Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and Cedric Wilson and Mike Gesicki. Man, that's tough. Well, here's my thing, right? If Tua goes out there, 25 touchdowns, 27 touchdowns, and we're the number 2, 3, top 5 rushing offense in the league, I have no problem with that, bro. Pound the rock. I think that's the best way to win football games. I mean, you look at the Niners last year, they made it to the NFC Championship game doing that, but then when they needed their quarterback to make a play, he didn't. But I think Tua is better than Jimmy G. I know we could pull up stats and nitpick and all that other crap, but I think Tua has way more potential than Jimmy G ever did. So I don't know, man. I mean, 30 touchdowns, it's a lot of touchdowns. But I feel like in the AFC, if he doesn't have those 30 touchdowns, he's going to have to show that he can make those plays when he needs to. You know, like you could have a 25, 28 touchdown season, but you could have a lot of big moments in that 25, 28 touchdowns. You know, like you could have 3 to 4 game-winning drives. You could have some massive 3rd and 4th down conversions. You could have some really, really clutch throws, you know. Some things that might outweigh this actual winning games because of your ability to complete passes that we need 100%. To win. So I'm not going to get too caught up in the number, but I will get caught up in the number if it's the outlier, if it's the reason why that this team isn't winning as many games as they should.
100%. In like the 3 areas see Tua be successful, and I want to see Tua do well. Third down, I need you to come through on third down. I need you to be efficient with the football and score points in the red zone, and I need you to be able to play and perform in the fourth quarter. If he can do those things and his numbers are underwhelming to just the stats eyes, I don't care, man.
Right.
Because if he can be that guy in those situations, we'll win football games. The running game's there. The defense is there. And I wanted to ask you, since you were just talking about it, San Fran, how they attacked it with such a run heavy. And obviously Debo was one of those main guys who was running the ball. We obviously don't know what the offense is going to look like exactly, but do you see Tua? I mean, do you see Waddle or Tyreek playing a little bit of that Debo role, getting some carries?
Maybe some jet sweeps, some quick screens. I don't see Tyreek Hill lining up as a running back. I don't see it. I think the Niners had to do a lot of that because Raheem Mostert got hurt. I mean, they were shuffling running backs, picking them up left and right, and they got to the point where, look, Debo's our best ball handler. Like, we got to get this guy the freaking ball. I think Tyreek Hill is as explosive as Debo Samuel, but I don't think we're gonna have to use him like that to get him the ball.
I'm down to use him like that, bro. I know our running backs. We just got them. We got 3 solid to good running backs, elite by any means. But what we do have is an elite playmaker in Tyreek Hill. And I'm so down for him to line up in the backfield. I'm down for him to come in the backfield on shotguns too, where he's just back there and he can run little wheel routes and shit like that. Like, I want to see them be creative because we could really open up shit. And it reminds me of like when the Dolphins got creative and broke that Wildcat out. Like, I want to see us get creative and be like, oh shit, it's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in the backfield next to Tua. Like, what's this for me? Or something crazy.
I'm about that. Like I'm not down. I'm done with the Wildcat though.
No. I wasn't saying bring the Wildcat back. Don't get.
I'm good on that, bro. Fuck
good
that.
On that.
Fuck that. But like you said, shotgun formation. We got Tua. We got Tyreek. We got Jalen, Cedric, Preston, Gesicki. Like, what's about to go down? I'm game for that.
I feel like McDaniels is a creative dude, and just the way they ran that offense in San Francisco, they were always so fun to watch, in my opinion. Like, I'm down to watch you run it down their throat. Like, if you run the ball and get 4 or 5 a carry, that's football, and I'm with that. So if that's what we're gonna do, I'll have fun watching our games. But you better believe we better play defense and then Tua in those 3 aspects. If he could do those 3 things, we're gonna be good to go. I truly believe it.
I agree. Waddle. Who do you think will be the odd one out, and who will be the main starter? Great question. I think Raheem Mostert is going to be the main starter if healthy. I saw a press conference with Mike McDaniel where he literally said, once Raheem Mostert is fully healthy and ready to go, he will be used. And he said it in a manner where he really liked what he sees with Raheem. He's been with Raheem in San Fran. And I'm a fantasy guy. Mostert is always a beast until he gets hurt. I think health is his biggest issue, obviously. But in a perfect world, if he plays all 17, I think he will be the head guy. I think he'll be the head guy, especially when it comes to running the rock in the offensive scheme, the outside zone. Raheem already has that experience. He's already been in that system. He knows how to run behind the blocks. He knows the lineman's assignments. I think he has a bigger advantage over all the running backs in our committee. And the odd one out, I mean, obviously, I kind of want to say Sony Michel, but I don't know, man, because I think Chase Edmonds, he's going to catch a lot of balls. I'll go with Chase Edmonds. I think he'll be the odd one out. I don't really feel confident in saying that, though. I think all 3 guys will be utilized in their own special way. I could see Sony being down in distance, red zone running back. I could see Raheem Mostert first, second down running back. And then I could see Chase Edmonds in third and short, third down, second and short umps. And to be honest, I have to see who pass blocks better, like who's able to pick up blitz better, because that guy's going to get a lot of playing time too. And if I had to take a guess on who that would be, I would think it's Sony Michel. To be honest, I haven't got to sit down and watch the tape on who picks up the blitzes the best, but I think that's going to play a huge factor too.
You ever been breaking down running back blitz pickup this summer, bro? What's going on?
I'm lacking.
No, but I'm kind of in the same wavelength as you. I haven't seen, like, I've seen these guys play, but I haven't seen them play for my team where I get to know them so well. I think Mostert has the advantage as well, being in that system and just how highly everyone has talked of Mostert
Right.
and just his speed. I mean, I don't think people realize how fast Raheem
Speed
Mostert is.
kills.
He's like unbelievably fast. I do think Chase Edmonds is going to be a nice piece. I think he's going to be able to catch a lot of balls out of the backfield. I think he might be the third down type of guy. But the key here is let's just ride the hot hand.
Right.
I think it's going to be great to be able to have a fresh running back at all time that if this guy starts getting hot and going,
Right.
give him the ball. But if he's not really doing much, it's like, okay, your competition's going to come in. It kind of pushes you. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be that odd guy out. You don't want to be the guy that has the lowest yards per carry. Like, you want to be that guy.
Right.
So that the competition is good. I don't think so.
I don't even
Why
think he's
would
gonna
we
make the
keep
team.
4 running backs?
I think we could trade him for like a 6th, 7th round pick. I think that's what the Dolphins are going to end up doing. I don't. There's no reason for us to keep him. And we have Ahmed, and we signed that guy from South Carolina,
Dokes, is it?
who, by the way, McDaniel fucks with him heavy too. That's only my second F word. I did really good today. I did really good today. But yeah, I think our running back committee is arguably the best in the league. I mean, when we're talking about committees, obviously teams have their Najee Harris's, their Derrick Henrys, like. But as a committee, I don't think it gets better than Raheem, Chase Edmonds, and Sony Michel.
No, I agree. I mean, it's 3 like I said, above average guys. Where most teams it's just one stud, and then whoever the hell else is going to catch like 5 carries a game because that guy's getting a breath of fresh air. So I truly think we got a bit of a stable. Let's keep those boys cycling through, keep them healthy more than anything, because the depth in the stable and having 3 running backs is good and all until one of them gets hurt, which seemed to happen in San Francisco every damn year. So let's hope we can keep them healthy and have a nice clean rotation there. That'd be the best.
All right, last question, and we'll wrap it up. Me and you were both in the same fantasy league. It's your first year in our league. I don't know how you play fantasy, but are you going to go after any Miami Dolphins? And be honest, I know this is a Dolphins podcast, and I'll make it less awkward for you. I'm not targeting Tyreek Hill, and I might go after Jalen Waddle because I always need one Dolphin guy, but I'm really not sold on either because I do believe we're going to be run dominant, and we have a running back by committee, so I don't even know which running back's really going to take over. And then it's like I have Tua and not Tua. I have Jalen and Tyreek. It's like pick your poison. One's going to have 1,000 yards. The other one's not going to have 1,000 yards. It's like I just from a fantasy perspective, I don't see any value. I see our offense as a whole. I think we have a lot of potential, like 11 on 11, but fantasy, I don't really see it. Do you?
I agree with you, but I already see this is going to happen. I don't know if it'll be in the league we're in together or one of my other leagues. The run on tight ends is going to go. Kelsey, Kittle, all those guys, and I'm going to be sitting there like, yo, Mike G, yo, like this is his year, like contract year, like middle of the field. It's open with all the speed on the outside. It's going to be Gesicki, and I'll draft him. I know I will. I'll have him in one fantasy league because the Dolphins' brain inside of me will tell me that like Mike Gesicki is the guy. Get Mike Gesicki, and who knows? We've seen how it's turned out the last couple of years. We're both hoping for it to turn better, but it'll be Gesicki that I end up with.
You know what Gesicki is where you already have most of your team filled out, and you have your around this one tight end, and then someone snags him before, and you're just like, you know what? Like Gesicki sounds good. He looks good. I have him in my lineup. I don't feel like I have a total bump. Ruiz won.
Oh, he ripped it.
Dolphins defense.
Yes,
there it is.
He ripped it.
That's the fantasy value right there. Dolphins defense.
Turnovers and
ripped
sacks.
It to a T.
Turnovers and sacks.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. Shout out to the chat. Absolutely blew it up. Thank you all you guys. Sorry for the lag. We're going to try to get that fixed next time. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Monday, same time, 5 p.m. Bobby, thanks for being on, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Peace. Fins up.